Today we're going to talk about the Creative Grids 30-degree triangle designed by the Swirly Girls Design. This is a 30-degree triangle, and it has the markings down the center like all the other triangle series. This has a straight line down through the center and 1/4 of an inch on each side of it, which represents the seam allowance. There is also grip around the outside edge, 1/4 of an inch, so that shows your seam allowance, plus it holds the ruler in place so it does not slip when you are using it on fabric. If I need to add a triangle to finish a row, then I can place the dash line on the side of the center on my fabric, and that will automatically add my 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on one side of the triangle so that I can complete it and square off rows. Now, when I'm using this ruler, for example, here are 2 strips that I have right sides together, and I would take the ruler. If I need a partial triangle to finish up a row, I would lay this dash line that is on the left of the line here, and then this first cut would be usable because this would give me my partial triangle. Then I would continue to rotate the ruler 180 degrees to continue to make my cuts, so I would have all of the triangles I need. See, just like that. So when I'm sewing these together, if I wanted to sew them and make a block, these are 30-degree angles, so 12 of them would make a total circle, 3 make a 1/4 circle. So I have sewed these with a 1/4 inch seam, and I have created my 1/4 circle, but if you notice, it is not square. So if I want to make this into a square block for some of the patterns and designs that go with it, I piece these until this diagonal is the size of the finished square I want, and then I take one of the square rulers and I can place it on top, and see right here I can line this up, for instance, for a 7-inch square. There's a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance right here because this starts a 1/4 of an inch away, and I can trim this down right here, and then I will have a perfect square with all of this removed, and I will have this angle. Now I'm going to show you a quilt that shows that. This is one of their designs, and if you notice, that square is right here. And the points all sew together because this is the 90-degree angle that makes the secondary design, but here is the actual 30-degree angles right up here. So that's how they created this unit. Now, another thing that you can do with this is I can actually take 2 strips and sew them together. And if I sew them together and cut just like I did before, see, here is my strip pieced units, and here is my angled cut. When I take the ruler and again rotate it 180 degrees with each cut, I'm going to get units that look like this. And if you notice, the grape fabric is on the short point of half of them and on the large end on the others. So when I take these and sew them together, I could do the exact same thing I did in the previous block, but if you notice, this time we've added interest by just sewing 2 strips together before we cut them, and look what a nice design you have. And this, again, if I put it on the edge of a block, is going to give you a 1/4 circle. Now, this ruler is designed by the same gals that designed the Circle Savvy, and it has been one of our most popular and best-selling rulers. So if you got this ruler, you notice that there are 30 and 60-degree markings on here. So I can take that same piece segment, and right here, remember how we made this unit? I can place these lines on here, and if you notice, it says a 1/4 inch seam allowance right here. I'll place that on the corner, and then I can cut my arcs, and look what happens. I can cut a curved fan right here and piece it into my block. I can cut arcs and piece this into a block, and then this would be the scrap left over. But see how I can add interest by creating these arcs out of pieced blocks now? So it gives you the interest and effect of a double wedding ring without all of the work, because I'm just piecing that very simple shape first and then cutting it. So I can use this element in some of my blocks in my quilt and then combine them with this part of the block, and it would give even more added interest. And see, I can even take and combine them in the same block to create all different kinds of effects. So that's the way this ruler works. It is fun to work with, and it is especially fun when you combine it with the Circle Savvy, because then you're getting more bang for your buck, because you can do so many more things by combining the two tools and using them in one project. You can have a lot more fun.